Their team looks like this. Steve Hampson gets only his 4th start since joining from Wigan during the summer. Hampson at full-back. John Bentley is one of the big league's form wingers. He was in the Great Britain World 7 squad and he managed 6 tries.
He's fast, mean and lean, and one of rugby league's most elusive three-quarters. With 16 tries so far this season, John Bentley could well be on line for an international recall against the French next month. The Halifax Flyer times his runs to perfection, and is one reason why the side should be confident of a vital win tonight.
Watch out for John Bentley on the wing. He wears 2. A big name in the centre for Halifax is John Schuster, the former All Black who joined Halifax from Newcastle Knights in the Winfield Cup in Australia this season. Alongside him, one of the best of British, young Graham Hallis, who scored a try in each of his last 2 matches, including against Warrington in the Challenge Cup tie. Mark Preston is another former Wigan player, and he's in the Halifax back line, going through a barren spell with just 1 try in his last 10 games. Michael Hagan makes Halifax tick. He's regarded as a try maker rather than a try scorer, but he has managed 4 touchdowns so far. Paul Bishop could be a thorn in Warrington's side. The former Warrington halfback kicked a crucial drop goal to win this corresponding fixture last season, 21-20. Carl Harrison celebrates his 30th birthday on Sunday, the Halifax skipper who played in 2 of the 3 tests against New Zealand last autumn. Roy Southernwood is the hooker, the former Castleford man and a former under-21 Great Britain captain. Good news for Halifax tonight is that John Fieldhouse plays. His 1-match ban that he picked up yesterday overturned on appeal as late as this afternoon, and Fieldhouse had 5 years at Warrington in the 80s. Mark Perrott is the new face in the Welsh squad to face France on Sky Sports in 2 weeks' time. Perrott is the former Academy international. Paul Round was signed from Wakefield on the Cup deadline day, and he's also seen service with Oldham and St Helens during his career. And Gary Devorty completes the lineup. Devorty's enjoying a new lease of life here at Thrum Hall after joining the club from Leeds. And the coach, another man with former Leeds connections, and of course he's the Great Britain chief too. It's Malcolm Reilly, of course. The league leaders will go 2 points clear if they win tonight. Despite their win in the Cup, they've not won a league match here since 1988. This is their make-or-break night, and Lee Penny is their fullback. Having an outstanding season, he's still only 19. Without doubt, he's a star of the future. Mark Forster, remember his hat-trick against Leeds on Sky earlier in the season? Well, he's now scored 100 touchdowns for this club, a club that he joined 13 years ago. Alan Bateman forms a Welsh centre partnership for Warrington that serves them so well this season. Bateman with tries home and away against Halifax last season, and he's joined in the centre by Jonathan Davis, the Welsh captain, who scored 2 world-class tries in the Cup tie here 3 weeks ago.
Some say he's the best in the world, and who could argue when he produces individual skills like this? Jonathan Davis's speed off the mark, the step and the swerve, the determination. It's added a new dimension to the Warrington side this season. Give this man room to move and you suffer the consequences. Shut him down and you may stand a chance.
Warrington hope Halifax will give him plenty of room here tonight. Rob Myler is Warrington's leading scorer, 16 tries, exactly the same as Davis, but the Welshman counts 1 for Great Britain in his tally. Myler enjoying a wonderful season. Kevin Ellis, the 3rd Welshman in this Warrington side, another man in that Welsh squad to face the French in 2 weeks' time. Greg Mackey hasn't missed a game since he returned to Warrington for his 2nd spell from Hull last season. That's an incredible run of 58 games. The return of Gary Chambers is a big boost for Warrington. He's been sorely missed, having been out for 10 of the last 11 matches, but he's back tonight. The hooker is John Thursfield. He missed 4 games over Christmas. He's back in the fold now. He's been understudy to Dwayne Mann for the past 2 or 3 years, but he's having a great season. Craig Tietzel has featured in 13 of the 14 games since he made his big league debut against St Helens on Sky earlier this season. Tietzel, the Aussie. And another Aussie is Bob Jackson, who's been out this season for 4 months. This is his 3rd game back, one of the original Aussie imports to play in this country. He's been here 10 years. Paul Derbyshire continues to deputise for the injured Paul Cullen, and he's another man who was signed by this Warrington club from local amateurs Woolston. And Kiwi Kelly Shelford completes the Warrington lineup. This is his best ever season in this country. The New Zealander is playing so well. The coach, a former Warrington player, the ex-fullback Brian Johnson. Let's have a look at the head-to-head, and the head-to-head shows us that Warrington have been dominant at home, but here at Thrum Hall it is even Steven. So Warrington will know that they're in for a battle here tonight. The defence-attack statistic shows that the defence has been a problem for Halifax all season, but they have scored more tries than Warrington. Halifax and Warrington have both played 20 matches. The big difference is that Halifax have won 11 and Warrington have won 16, and that's why Warrington are the leaders. Now let's take a look at the situation in the big league itself. Warrington, the league leaders, are top, and Halifax are in 5th place. Warrington will go on to 34 points tonight. They will be 2 points clear of Bradford in 2nd place if they win. Well, I was here at Thrum Hall just 3 weeks ago for that cup tie. It was an absolute thriller. And the difference between the two sides that day was Jonathan Davis, 2 world-class tries. But last Saturday against Leeds in the cup tie, well, Davis fell really off the mark and off the pace, and it wasn't the Davis that we came to know. And the difference, I think, between then and tonight, Steve-O, is that Davis perhaps will be out to prove 1 or 2 of those doubters, 1 or 2 of those critics wrong.
Well, he needs to be as well, because quite frankly, I think that Jonathan Davis has not been hitting top form, and quite frankly quite a few people think that he can't hack it when it comes to a big game. And believe you me, this is probably one of the biggest games that he's going to face, because if Warrington are going to become champions, then Davis has to be firing all the way through to the end of the season. He may explode tonight, but it's not going to be easy against a man called Graham Hallis. He's in very, very good form. It's taken him a while to settle in here at Halifax, but his defence is strong. He's a big boy, and they'll try to shut Davis down. But I think that the halfback situation is going to be a big problem for Warrington. They have to start moving forward a little bit. I think they've been trying to be too much of a ball handler. Ellis and Mackey, they really have got to start taking on this Halifax defence. They have been trying to keep the ball alive, keep it moving, but really they've got to start running a little bit more at the defence. And it won't be easy for those two tonight, because up against them, Paul Bishop, who, as we said in the opening to the show tonight, is a thorn in everyone's side, and Warrington, of course, one of his former clubs, and Michael Hagan, the engineer for them. That's right, they're a very good combination. Hagan, of course, he's the man that just keeps everything going off. Good kicker, good tactical player. Bishop, he will take on the Warrington defence. He will attack them. But I still think that the key is Warrington have to use their halfbacks. They've got to start moving. They've got to start running at them. It should be a great game, there's no doubt about that. This is the rematch of that Challenge Cup tie. That was an epic, I'm sure this one will be too. And who's for the 2 points? Well, coming up next, we have our regular local hero. And this week's local hero is Mick Scott. He was a Wembley winner with Halifax in 1987 during the Halifax glory days. Going to Field at home, and John Fieldhouse just passing the ball there to the young mascot. He's very lucky to be involved in this match. But Paul Bishop, the former Warrington halfback, now earning his corn here at Thrum Hall, and he is a real live wire. The big problem with Bishop in the past has been his temperament, but Malcolm really seems to have found the remedy to calm him down, and he really is one of the great scrum halves in the big league at the moment. He's always a thorn in the opposition side. Warrington out and in their green and white stripes. Remember, big blow for them, the number 13 jersey in the century picture there, being worn by David Elliott rather than Kelly Shelford. Shelford, the man who's back home in New Zealand. But Steve Hampson is Halifax's last line of defence. Hampson, the former Great Britain international, former Wigan fullback, breaks only his 4th start since joining Halifax from Wigan.
He is absolutely bouncing, apparently looking forward to taking part. Let's check the Halifax side for you and their numbers. Hampson, Bentley, Schuster, Hallis, Preston, Hagan and Bishop. That's the way the back line looks. And up front, and this is really where the battle will be won and lost, particularly early on. Harrison, the captain, Southernwood, Fieldhouse, Round and Perrott, with Devorty, the loose forward. And the substitutes, the fullback Steve Lay and Gary Lord, the forward. Jonathan Davis, the big league's leading point scorer, and his 2 tries in that cup win here last month were something special. They really were. Let's check this Warrington side for you. Penny, Forster, Bateman, Davis, Myler, Ellis and Mackey, who's the captain. And up front, the Warrington forwards will welcome back Gary Chambers, Thursfield, Teetsel, Derbyshire, Jackson, Elliott, and the substitutes are Gary Sanderson and Mark Hilton. Referee is David Campbell, who comes from Widnes. It's a bitterly cold night here, but the pitch is in excellent condition. We walked across it a few moments ago, and this Stones Bit of Championship battle from Thrum Hall, live and exclusive on Sky, is underway. If it's half as good as the cup tie, we're in for a real treat. And this is the first run from his own line by Paul Round.
We can expect real fireworks very early indeed. You can see Warrington, they've got a point to prove.
It's Carl Harrison with the run out of his own quarter zone, and it's Southernwood, the dummy half. This is now Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse cleared by the disciplinary committee to play in this match today. Malcolm really getting a reputation of being the Philadelphia lawyer, doing a great job for Fieldhouse and his team. This is Bishop, the left-footed kick downfield into the open spaces. It bounces around the fullback Penny. The pitch is very slippery on top, and it will no doubt harden and crisp up as the evening progresses. Davis, the man in at dummy half.
Quite slippery conditions, and I'm sure that the little grubber kick will come into play. The ball can skid and bounce all over the place, so they are the tactics.
Warrington in possession. The headband is worn by Kevin Ellis, and the other headband in at dummy half is worn by John Thursfield. And that's David Elliott, who has taken over from Kelly Shelford. Shelford, who is in New Zealand, sorting out family problems. The ball back with Davis. His kicking will be so important. That's got some height on it. Hampson's underneath it. Takes it cleanly. He's delighted to be back in the big league. Really was bouncing before this match, the former Great Britain international fullback. Now Mark Preston, former Wigan colleague of Hampson. Halifax, 10 metres inside their own half. Hallis to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse under the challenge from Jackson, but gets the ball away to Hampson. 2 to greet him, one of them Jackson, who stood his ground. The other was David Elliott. There's Bishop. Now Harrison was the runner. He offloads well, finds Hallis. The dummy half was Southernwood, Bishop, Hagan. Ball swept sweetly across the line to Devorty, then out to Bentley. Certainly the big league winger in form. Lovely ball in field to Hagan. That's good tackling.
Crisp play there by Halifax, keeping the ball alive, and here's a big bomb.
Great kick. High, it hung in the air, bounced back on the Halifax side of things, but Lee Penny read it, waited his chance, the fullback, and moved in for the kill. Warrington then, the league leaders in possession, looking to go 2 points clear if they win tonight. But they haven't won a big league match here at Thrum Hall since 1988. That counts for nothing, of course, past history.
Very impressed with the way that Halifax are moving up in one line, very quick in defence.
Thursfield tries to get through that line. Harrison, good tackle, helped out by Hallis. The dummy half is Bateman. He sweeps it to Mackey. The Warrington captain cuts in field, keeps the movement going to Jackson. Jackson has Southernwood and Perrott and Preston. There's no way through. Jackson wants to get on with it. This is Davis. Davis clips the ball into the air again. Another big take for Hampson, and he takes it cleanly and behind his own line too. That will be a tap on the 20-metre zone.
Well taken there by Hampson, calm, cool and collected. You could see that both eyes were on the ball.
What a run from Bentley down that wing. He's in some great form, is John Bentley. Started the World Sevens in Sydney with 6 tries. Now Schuster, Halifax looking eager here. Harrison, great ball from him to Preston. Preston can fly, Bateman though can tackle, and helped out by Thursfield.
Oh, what great play from Halifax. That's the way to run onto the football. Slick, sharp passing.
Devorty trying to find a way through, but Warrington move up quickly and haul him down. Southernwood is the dummy half. It's now with Fieldhouse and Bishop. Good movement. Paul Round. Marauding run from Round. Can he get past Lee Penny? No, and he was helped out by Paul Derbyshire also, but Halifax now so close. It's with Fieldhouse. Bishop drops it. The ball went backwards. It's play on. 10 metres from the line. But Halifax lost a bit of ground then with that fumble from Bishop. But this is the last tackle. Still 0-0. 5 minutes on the watch. Southernwood trying to go alone. And the Warrington defence holds firm.
Well, he couldn't blame the hooker there, Southernwood. He saw the referee coming in to play the ball. There was a little bit of a bargy-bargy going on, and the hooker took advantage, run at the referee, but the Warrington defence held firm. But what a great tackle from fullback Lee Penny on the big second row of Paul Round. Round looked all the world in for 4 points. But what a start by Halifax. They really are throwing this ball around with gay abandon. Super stuff.
Halifax in 5th place in the table, battling to salvage a season which began so brightly with 6 games unbeaten. It's gone slightly off the rails since, and the cup exit against Warrington 3 weeks ago still smarts here. They played so well first half. Warrington then fought back and went through to go out last Saturday against Leeds. It's the last tackle for Warrington. It's a good defensive stint this from Halifax in the Warrington half of the field. Davis with the kick downfield again. Hampson taps it neatly into his own arms. Can't make any progress though. Good chase from Warrington.
Such a cool character, isn't he, Steve Hampson? Very experienced, of course. But what speed, what tenacity this game has started out. And that must leave a big question mark on Gary Chambers, a prop forward. Can he last this? And there's a bit of a...
Well, that was Mark Forster who put a punch in on Graham Hallis. It was a right hook, and Forster will be pulled out by the referee for a chat here.
Quickly seen by the touch judge. There's a tackle, and the ball's coming through. When he gets away, it was just off the screen. Mark Forster, a little bit overexcited there.
Penalty taken by Hallis, flipped into touch. And Hallis just walked away from the punch, and it was the penalty that was given. 7 minutes gone, 0-0. Good start though by these two sides. Harrison, good run, halted by Chambers. Important for Warrington that he's back. That's a lovely reverse ball from Bishop to invite Round to have a run. He takes it to within 10 metres of this Warrington line. Southernwood's the dummy half. There's Bishop again, involved in everything, as is Hagan. He's found Devorty. Devorty appeared to use a Halifax man as a shield then, but the referee says play on. It wasn't obstruction. This is Fieldhouse. He gets the ball away, and now Harrison. Halifax now will build from just outside the quarter line. Bentley's kick forward downfield. Forster has to side foot it behind.
That's good thinking from Bentley, coming off the right wing, right into the middle, coming at the angles, and he got a bit of a charge there. The ball just popping up into the in-goal area. Forster took no doubt, didn't take any risk. But what an opening line from Halifax. They really have thrown everything at this Warrington side. Dummy runners, crisscross moves, and the forwards are looking so sharp.
And certainly the man in form for this Halifax side as Hampson runs it back is John Bentley, the winger. He has sights on a second test cap for his country against the French. Really is an in-form player at the moment, and of course his coach just happens to be the Great Britain Supremo, Malcolm Reilly. Bishop, the ball will move across the line. Was that forward from Hagan? No, referee says play on. Round to Hagan again. Throws a bit of a wild pass out, but it's Bentley who, well, went to pick it up and got it second attempt, but has crossed into his own half now under pressure from Davis.
Little bit of panic play there for the first time from Halifax. saw them lose 20-odd yards. That could be important. Now the kick won't be as deep.
Hampson at dummy half, looking for supporters. The supporter there was Preston. That's a lovely kick down the touchline from Preston. Soccer skills on show here. Penny has to be quick, and he just got to it too as Preston tried to pounce.
Well, he did the right thing, didn't he, the winger? Could have gone for the trying to pick at the ball, possession, but he opted to kick again. And it was only Lee Penny coming right across at the moment to take that ball away, and this will also give Halifax possession from the dropout.
So close there to ending his barren spell, Mark Preston. One try in just the last 10 games, unusual for him. The man who's found the whitewash 11 times this season already. Davis with the dropout then, up to the halfway line. Hampson taking no chances. Devorty now with the run. Oh no, it was Perrott. The ball drops under pressure from Perrott. That's a mistake that Halifax can ill afford.
Well, it was a tackle from Bob Jackson. You could see the impact, squeeze the ball right out of the top. Very cold conditions.
10 minutes gone, 0-0. It certainly is cold, but my word, it's white hot on the pitch. And Chambers, who before he was out injured for Warrington, was one of the informed prop forwards in the big league. 24 years old, Gary Chambers. This is Greg Mackey, 32 years old, the Warrington scrum half, the Australian. Thursfield, the dummy half. He finds Ellis. Good run coming in here. It's Derbyshire. He's still going. But was he tackled? And did he regain his feet illegally? Well, David Campbell says play on. Mackey, last tackle for Warrington.
That's the type of running from Mackey that one's needed.
Ellis stabs the ball forward. Hampson read the script perfectly, picked up and fed Bentley in space. Now Bentley's got pace, Davis has pace, and Bentley with the strength to hold Davis off first time, and it needed a good tackle from Penny to bring the Halifax winger down.
But not only that, was it a good run from Bentley, he kept in field. They tried to squeeze him right out of the touchline. Excellent play from Bentley.
Schuster to Bishop, who helps it on to Harrison. Bishop, Fieldhouse. Sure, he feels like a condemned man who has escaped the gallows playing in this one. Southernwood is the dummy half. Bishop again. Flat ball to Hagan. Help wider. Out to that far side once more. It's Bentley with all the strength too. Gets the ball away well to Devorty. And a good job that Davis was there. Certainly Devorty enjoying a new lease of life here at Thrum Hall. Schuster is the dummy half. This clips the ball high into the air. It's bounced kindly for Schuster. He feeds Devorty. This is a great move from Halifax. And are they in with Hampson? No, the ball was knocked forward.
Either knocked forward or he was offside, but he's given the... Yes, he's given the offside. You can see the loose forward there. Devorty gets the ball and it comes off Round's foot. And you can see quite clearly also that Steve Hampson was standing in front of the man. The penalty given, another let-off, but that's the second occasion that Halifax have gone to the fifth tackle and looked all at sea for the kick. It was a bad play of the ball, there was a lot of heavy traffic there, but that is the second occasion that they've really not set up for a good kick.
So 12.5 minutes gone and we await that first score of the night. Four defeats at Thrum Hall for Halifax this season against Wigan, Leeds, Castleford and Sheffield. Desperate not to make it 5 home defeats tonight against the league leaders who are aiming for a 2-point advantage over the rest of the field. And of course, with Wigan going down to Wakefield on Wednesday night at home, it really has thrown this big league race wide open. Davis plants the ball over the top. Hampson's coming for it. Preston got to it and dropped it. It's been hacked on by Bateman, and Bateman just didn't get to it. He says he did. He looked expectantly at the referee. The referee says no try.
Well, what a mix-up there between Hampson and Mark Preston. One man should have really called for it, and that was pretty close, wasn't it?
Good decision, though. Hagan with this run. Penny trying to wrap him up. Hagan looking to release the pass as he fell. Thought better of it. But Halifax spring from defence to attack. Southernwood. It's a great start to this match, isn't it?
Wonderful play again from Halifax. They're catching Warrington's defence when they're attacking from their own quarter. That's a fourth occasion. Oh, that's a bad mistake. They've lost it.
Harrison, the captain, who let the ball go from his grasp. Good tackling, though, from David Elliott.
And it was also Jackson coming in with the impact. Bob Jackson, that's the second time that he's reefed the ball clear from a Halifax player.
Davis, who turned the course of the Challenge Cup tie here, trying to turn the course of this one now as it stays at a 0-0 stalemate. But the way these two sides are going at it, it won't be 0-0 for long. That's Robbie Myler. What a good run from the Warrington winger. He's come in field searching for the football, searching for the work. Now Ellis.
Well, it's an amazing game to say that 5 or 6 clean breaks, they've all come from deep within their own quarter. And I'm sure that both coaches will be wanting to tighten that defence up. When they get them into a good position, they're just relaxing.
It was quick hands from Warrington. That here's Myler again. Another man wearing the white headband tonight. Hurstfield is another in at dummy half. He lays it back now to Davis. And Davis, with all the time in the world to drill that ball downfield, Hampson just took a look at it and allowed the ball to run touch in goal. It'll be a tap on the Halifax 20-metre mark.
Interesting to see there. You could see that one of the signs is actually cutting off the in-goal area.
Gary Sanderson, by the way, wearing the head guard there, number 14, has come on, and it's David Elliott who has gone off. The man who got the call into the battle tonight because Shelford was down in New Zealand sorting out family difficulties. Doesn't last long, he's off and he's injured. And Sanderson, the man who scored a try here last season and whose career was threatened by a serious neck injury, is back in the big league. But here goes Perrott. The man in the Welsh squad for that international against France, you'll see on Sky Sports 2 weeks from tonight. Bishop thought about releasing the pass to Round. And Round and Mackey having a discussion about a tackle off the ball on Round by the Australian halfback. Hagan, meanwhile, will drill the ball downfield. And that's a slip from Myler. It's a good job for him that there wasn't a Halifax player within 20 metres of him.
That was a clever kick there by Michael Hagan.
David Elliott is in a bad way, being helped off this field by the St John's ambulance.
Doesn't look well at all, does he?
Took a crack on the head, apparently, and he's got double vision, Steve-O. Mackey, who hasn't missed a match since returning to Warrington from Hull. Thursfield, who's the hooker and dummy half. Teetsall, standing in the tackle, looking round, no support. Takes the tackle in the end, hits the deck. Here's Sanderson. Good to see Sanderson back in the big league, I must say, after that injury was threatening a very promising career. Davis with a high kick, and he gets some height on them. But this time, too much length. The ball taking a nasty bounce, and the Welshman shakes his head, unhappy with that.
A little bit too beef, a little bit too much beef, should I say, from Jonathan Davis. Both sides seem quite content at times to use the forwards, trying to grind down the opposition. But I've been very impressed with the way that Halifax have supported, especially the pack. They're running hard and fast, and that's what's needed, especially the 2 second rowers, Perrott and Round.
Halifax in possession then, and there is Round. It's a good strong run. The man signed on Challenge Cup deadline day. Hagan, the engineer of this Halifax team. 18 minutes gone, 0-0. Last tackle Halifax. Bishop hoists a high kick. Penny's watching it coming out of the sky. Oh, it was fumbled by Penny, and Penny in the end just has to shuttle it dead because Gary Devorty was hunting the chance right behind him.
Not a good position there by Lee Penny. Whether he lost it in the lights is hard to say, but you could see that when the ball actually came down upon him, he had to reach back for it. You will not be happy with that. He was forced to knock it dead in goal. Halifax apply the pressure again.
Can they make the pressure tell this time? Harrison will run it back at Warrington. Coming into this match, Warrington on the back of a 7-try mauling against Leeds in the Cup last Saturday. Trying to get themselves back on track for a big assault on this, their first ever big league title, if they win it. A long way to go yet, but that Wakefield victory has thrown it wide open, as we say. Meanwhile, Warrington penalised for holding down in the tackle. It's going to be a Halifax penalty.
Well, they took an eternity to get off them, didn't they? Teetsel and Derbyshire it was. And the referee, David Campbell, will have none of that. This surely must be a give 2 points, but they've been hard fought for. Halifax have had their chances, at least 3 clear-cut ones.
Interesting that it's John Schuster who will be taking the goal kick for Halifax. Paul Bishop, of course, now restored to the side. So Schuster with those 32 goals. A mean kicker he is, the New Zealander, former All Black. And former man from Newcastle Knights, but Bishop, the man, is standing in the wings in case Schuster hasn't brought his boots with him tonight that clips the ball over that crossbar. This should be 2 points, though, for Halifax. Just to the left of the upright, right-footed kicker. He's missed it. Well, maybe we'll see Bishop being given the kicking responsibilities shortly. That's a bad miss from a man of Schuster's quality.
Definitely so there. That could prove to be exceptionally vital in this hard encounter. It's going to be a tough one all the way to the wire. You just get the impression that mistakes could well tip the balance one way or the other. Very cold for handling.
Now Paul Round, under pressure from Sanderson and Gary Chambers. Southernwood at dummy half. Hagan, Fieldhouse on the diagonal run. Halifax, who started off so well with those 6 games unbeaten, suffered their first defeat of the season against Warrington. So they've lost to them twice already this season. They have a score or two to settle just over midway through this first half, 0-0. Schuster's penalty miss, the closest we've come to a score. Warrington have it back because Fieldhouse lost it.
Well, he was looking for the support back on the inside, but you could see that it was Jackson's arm that got to it. Either way, it went backwards, so it wouldn't be classified as a knock-on. But I have been impressed with the way that Halifax have run the crisscross, using the forwards. They're trying to prize the gaps.
There's Jackson's arm in there. He got the touch, so it's a Halifax head and feet at the scrum. Bentley can't go anywhere because Davis was all round his ankles. Here's Hagan. Burst of speed and pace from Hagan. Ball out wide to Bentley again, inviting Bentley to use his strength. Davis has stayed down injured after the tackle on Bentley. Warrington a man short now. It's a crunching tackle from Jackson.
Oh, and Harrison's hurt. He just received that. Look at the impact here. Crunch time, shoulder to shoulder. Nothing illegal about it. But the big prop forward, Carl Harrison, felt that. And Bob Jackson, the Australian, came like an Exocet missile there.
Harrison clutching the top of his head. I wonder if he got a bang on the temple, but he went down and he didn't move, although he has moved, thankfully, now. But Bob Jackson, as soon as he saw that, he immediately called the referee's attention. And it looks like there's a touch of blood there for Harrison. And both sides now have got players on the floor. Javis, who put in the tackle, took a bang on the shoulder, and he too is receiving treatment.
Watch it again, the long ball out wide. Davis gets injured from this tackle on Bentley. Stray boot there, you can see quite clear. Just running across the face. Not the best place to get the studs wrapped round. And there's a bit of claret from the prop forward, Carl Harrison.
And he needs that to be stemmed before he's allowed back on. That's a blood bin for Carl Harrison. So he will go off. And he has been replaced then by Gary Lord. And immediately Halifax drop the ball again. That will be a knock-on. And this time it'll be a Warrington head and feed. There's Gary Lord, who's on for Carl Harrison, the captain, who's in the blood bin.
Well, the biggest problem now that's coming into the Halifax side is, of course, that they're losing possession very early in the 6. They must respect this possession to get into any swing, any flow of the game. Doesn't matter how many tactics you've got, if you haven't got the possession, just a waste of time. They have to respect it.
24 minutes gone, 0-0. That was a bustling run from Tietzel. This is Warrington still in possession. And Halifax, there's the statistic that tells it all, really. 62% to 38% of Warrington, but Halifax have simply not made that possession statistic tell where it matters on the scoreboard. Last tackle here for Warrington. Halifax will get the ball back here one way or another. Davis kicking it towards Preston, who thought about taking it on the full, let it bounce over his head, collects it 10 metres from his own line. And good chasing there from Ellis. Bateman to wrap him up with a bit of help also from Derbyshire.
Much better kick there from Davis, right into the corner. The one previous to that was far too heavy. Now this is where Warrington really have to tighten their defence. On a few occasions, Halifax has got the ball out wide to Bentley. He's made 30, 40 yards on every occasion.
Gary Lord, I think that's just about his first touch since he came on as a substitute for Harrison. Hagan, a run from round, gets the ball away almost, but it bounced off the legs of Michael Hagan, who I don't think was expecting that.
Well, professional footballers have to expect it all the time. And the mistakes they are building for this Halifax side, they're becoming their worst enemy, I'm afraid.
Tietzel with the run, strong tackling. It's Fieldhouse and it's Gary DeWalty too. Mackey to Sanderson. Handling errors creeping up for Halifax, 5-1. Chambers with the drive in, wrapped up by Perrott. Chambers thinking about getting the ball away, but no opportunity for him to do that. It's the last tackle for Warrington, and Davis is headed off on a diagonal run, and he's directed the traffic. He told Forster where to go, but Hampson also read the script perfectly. Oh, but Hampson dropped it, and it's a good job that Preston was there, but that was high by Derbyshire. A high tackle.
Certainly was, but what a mistake again. Okay, the tacklers can often get their fingers into it, but Derbyshire goes straight for the head. Well, that is stupid play by Warrington. They put all that pressure on. The kick from Davis was good. It was well read by the fullback Steve Hampson. But really, when a man loses his marbles like that, Hampson losing the football, the impact of the tackle again, it went back, and now Warrington have lost a good position. And really, in this half, Warrington have only been down in the Halifax quarter no more than 3 occasions.
So a relieving penalty for Halifax. And here comes Fieldhouse. It was 21 points to 20. It was as close as that last season, and it was Paul Bishop's drop goal that won this match for Halifax. The way it's gone for the past 27 minutes or so, as Harrison prepares to come back into the fray, out of the blood bin, it looks like it might be as close as that again this time round, doesn't it? 0-0. Southernwood on his own from dummy half, working hard. So is Fieldhouse. And Hallis, wrapped up though by Bateman. And Bateman won't let Hallis go. Last tackle. Bishop. Another high kick and diagonal too. It's bounced kindly. It's bounced very kindly for Hagan, and Halifax have made the pressure tell at last. What an awful bounce, but what a brilliant bounce for Halifax, and the Australian in for try number 5 of the campaign, and Halifax off the mark at last.
Never mind the bounce. It was a great kick from Bishop. You never allow it to bounce if you're a good full back. They should have been up there a little bit easier. Lee Penny, he was caught in no man's land. Well taken by Michael Hagan. But when the kick's on like that, you've got to make a decision and try to nullify the kick and catch it on the full. I'm not saying it's easy, but they should have tried to get to that Lee Penny.
Well, I made a note about Michael Hagan today. I put down that he's a try maker rather than a try scorer, and that's the way to prove that particular fact totally wrong. Schuster this time from bang in front. And the Halifax lead is now 6 points. 6-0. Halifax, first blood to them after 27 minutes of stalemate, but of 27 minutes of immense Halifax pressure, and it's told at last.
Well, that's a relieved try. Halifax, a few moments earlier, were under pressure, and how silly they know about it.
So Jonathan Davis will restart, having a debate with David Campbell, the referee. And Bishop looking for some support and taking the tackle in the end from Sanderson. Didn't play the ball properly, but he was falling. Coming up to half an hour then, and it's first points on the board for Halifax. They've been relieved that they've got a lead at last. Crunching tackle from Jackson again on Fieldhouse. Here's Harrison back out of the blood bin. Brave lad.
He's in the mood, isn't he? The Australian Bob Jackson pulled some crunch tackles, but so's this guy as well. The back three for Halifax, they worked hard. Pettit, Brown and Devorty.
Bishop switches the direction to Hampson. He was under pressure from Bateman. He got the kick away. And again, Penny is struggling to reach it, juggling with it. It ran kind of for him this time. Off the chest of Schuster, the 19-year-old fullback trying to get away. Good tackling again from Perrott. Man who will figure in the Welsh International on Sky Sports in 2 weeks' time. Forster with the run. Acceleration from Forster. Good tackling from Bishop.
It was a great tackle from Bishop, but Forster should have looked outside him. He had Bateman there. He was free. You've got to take your chances, and I'm afraid they didn't on that occasion.
Gary Sanderson. Now then, just confirm that we have Wales-France for you 2 weeks tonight on the 4th of March, live and exclusive from Cardiff City's Ninian Park, an international occasion on the big league. That's one we're all looking forward to. See just how good the Welsh are, and here is their captain Davis with another high kick. Hampson behind his own try line, diffused it, and it will be a tap on the 20-metre mark, and Halifax anxious to get on with it, and so is Hampson. But it's only his 4th start, Steve-O, the Halifax fullback, since he came here from Wigan, and he looks like he is meaning business tonight. But that's an awful ball from Fieldhouse. Good job that Round was there, picked up the pieces.
Yes, he's playing well, is Steve Hampson, the experience showing there. Diffused the bomb straight away, wanted to get on with the action. Caught the Warrington defence napping with a quick tap on the quarter line. That's good play from the hooker too.
And this is a great run from Perrott. Mark Perrott, he's only 20 years old in that Welsh squad by descent. A little dink over the top again. The kicks have been causing Warrington some problems. Again, that ball holds up. And again, Warrington take the chance.
Well, the ball can do anything. The nerves going through Lee Penny. Wasn't much in it, was it? Oh, that was pretty high by John Fieldhouse. Slipping up. Not a great deal of intent. I think it was an open hand. But good play, Eddie, from this Halifax hooker, Roy Southernwood. Warrington are moving up very quick on the outside. When they do that, once you start running from the dummy half position, it has a tendency to tighten them back in. This is the replay of the high tackle. David Campbell, Johnny on the spot, saw it all.
Johnny Fieldhouse, the man who was penalised. Mark Hilton is on. Mark Hilton in possession of the football here, and it's Gary Chambers who has gone off to be replaced by Hilton, the teenage prop forward. Mackey to Sanderson. That's a good run from Bateman through the gap. Oh, lovely run from the Welshman Bateman, and he has the pace to take him home. That's a great try from Bateman. Skip through the defenders and hurtle to the line.
Well, the Warrington side, they're famous for the crisscrossers. You can see Mackey will bring someone back on the inside. Beautiful play there. But what a stepping run from the centre, Alan Bateman. The speed, the acceleration at the right time, that was super stuff. It was a planned move, beautiful play. And look at the step back on the inside there. That is a sensational solo try, set up by the crisscross move.
Alan Bateman scored tries home and away against Halifax last season, and he's managed one here tonight, and he seems to reserve his best, Alan Bateman, for whenever the Sky cameras are on him. Remember the try he scored against Salford earlier in the season. That was a great try, great acceleration, bang under the sticks, and Jonathan Davis should now slide the conversion over and level the scores up again. It's 6-all. Level pegging once more here at Thrum Hall.
You can see the Halifax defence coming through, with Everman coming back on the inside, Warrington, and so does Bateman. The step did the rest. Here he comes, beautiful pass through, step inside. They were caught there, Halifax. They thought they were going out to the side. It was only that split second, but it was enough for the gap to appear for Bateman to charge all the way through.
Well, great try from Alan Bateman. It is his first since that try that I was just mentioning at Salford on Sky, so he really does enjoy it when he performs in front of the big league cameras. 6-all. Last 5 before half-time. Hilton. Mean 18-year-old Mark Hilton. He's another for the future.
Well, it's amazing how you always go back to some silly indiscretion, and that indiscretion was the head-eye tackle from Fieldhouse, way down into the quarter line, allowed Warrington not only the possession, but the kick to get back into the Halifax half, and they came up with trumps.
Steve, is it me, or are players these days not playing the ball properly at the play of the ball? There's a knock-on, meanwhile, from Bentley. We've been giving him big raps all night, but that was 2 play the balls by Halifax there, and the boot didn't touch it.
Oh, it's roly-poly. It's been going on for ages. First it was the scrums. Who cares? Now we got it at the play of the ball. I don't know. Touch judges we're playing next.
It's Tietzel who's in possession for Warrington. Thursfield at acting halfback. Sanderson taking it on. Good tackling.
Vital now that Halifax really do close ranks. Warrington on the roll just before the half-time break. It's a sucker punch when you give away points just before you go in at half-time. So it's vital that Halifax are really on the job now.
Davis strolled in to take that kick. Picked out Bentley, and Bentley has it back now from Hampson's pass. 3 minutes now to the interval. It's 6-all. Schuster. And the news from David Elliott, by the way, is that he's on his way as we speak here tonight at Thrum Hall to hospital with concussion. So a bad bang for David Elliott, who only found out he was playing late in the piece when Kelly Shelford failed to return from New Zealand.
Bit of high tackling coming into this game. But the referee's watching that also. A lot of talking between the players.
Hagan. Last tackle for Halifax. And Fieldhouse wants to get on with it. Bishop was screaming for that ball, and he just dinks one over the top again. It's difficult, and Myler's there.
Nice little kick there from Bishop. Didn't want to put too much on it. Knew the ball would be bouncing all over the place. Just dinked it over the top. But Myler was equal to the task and had to be.
Mark Hilton. 2 minutes plus stoppages to go to half-time. Jackson will run it out. One of the original Aussie imports in the 80s, Bob Jackson, came to Warrington via Fulham in 1984. This is Thursfield. Perrott and Fieldhouse combined to bring him down. Ellis gives it back to Davis. Davis under pressure from Perrott. And Hampson, he's taken everything cleanly tonight, the Halifax fullback. Good chasing from Mackey. Bentley there at dummy half. Strength from Bentley, gets it away to Schuster. Schuster spragged to the floor by Tietzel. Halifax will be ruining those missed chances, I fancy, in the dressing room at half-time. Malcolm really, no doubt, would be pointing out the fact that they've had so much of the possession, they should have made a lot more of it. Hallis is forced back to the halfway line by the challenge from Tietzel and Bateman. Hagan, Bishop, ball inside to Perrott.
He's worked well, hasn't he, the second rower? But Halifax just appeared to be losing their way a little bit. Some of their moves haven't been coming off. Players not running on with the same enthusiasm that they showed in the opening 10-15 minutes.
I say those kicks downfield from Bishop, they really are causing a bit of havoc. Myler just had to wait there as Bishop's kick found him. And in the end, Myler took a bang for his pains as he collected the bouncing ball.
Well, he fell awkward there. You could see the knee of the Halifax second row, Paul Round. It was right underneath as he fell down awkward. Then he pulls it down. You see the knee goes right underneath and then cracks down into it.
And as he hit the ground,
his head sort of ricocheted as well.
And his face was creased in agony, wasn't it? Anyway, we have stoppage time now, as we have a stoppage in this first half. Referee calls time back on, the injured player receiving attention, and to keep the flow of the game going on this very chilly night, David Campbell says to another Warrington player, well, let's get on with it. Thursfield, the runner was Hilton. Such confidence for a teenager. Was that an interference from Fieldhouse as he tried to get to the ball? No. Referee says play on. Thursfield again. Good challenge on him by Paul Round. Last tackle. Ellis will kick. And Preston has it. Now, Mark Preston is a tremendously quick player, but not when he's got Kevin Ellis hanging on to his ankles. Bishop trying to move it quickly. Southernwood Schuster. And while all this is going on, Myler is just getting to his feet and is being given a piggyback off the field. Round. Standing in the tackle, but no one seems to want it. There's Myler coming off the field. Obviously has problems. They'll try and patch him up during half-time. Well, they know they're trying to get Chambers on pretty quickly to replace the injured player. Bishop, Harrison. Good ball from him to Devorty. Devorty, now this is a break, a chance here. It's Preston who bombs it. He dropped that one. It was up round his neck, admittedly, and he was impeded, but it wasn't round his neck at all.
No, he should have taken that, Preston. Great run from the loose forward, Gary Devorty. That is another chance that has gone begging to the Halifax side with all this possession in this first half. And look at the scoreline, 6 apiece. They'll be ruining the fact that they've lost a lot of chances. This is Devorty's run. Really, the back three of Halifax have played well, especially Devorty. Did the right thing there. The pass was in. He should have taken it.
Should indeed. It looked from this angle that it was a little high, and perhaps it was a difficult chance, but Preston, well, it went straight into the breadbasket, didn't it? There's the half-time siren, and it will be a frustrated Halifax team that leave the field, because they have bossed this match in every aspect of possession. But in terms of the scoreline, it stays at 6 points apiece. Mark Hilton making his way, trudging into the dressing room. 6-all at half-time here at Thrum Hall, and trying to go for each side, with Halifax with a welter of possession.
Seize the day.
Time in the Challenge Cup final, when they went on to replay at Odsal in front of that record crowd of over 102,000. Not quite 102,000 in the ground here at Thrum Hall tonight, but there are the facts from the first half that we've seen. Halifax doing 75 team tackles to Warrington's 89, which is a reflection of that possession statistic at the foot of your screen. Just 2 scrums, 6 penalties, and the handling errors, which will also be a problem for Halifax. They've made 7 to Warrington's 2, but it's Alan Bateman's try that has levelled things up for Warrington at the half-time break, and the Welshman perhaps giving Warrington the impetus to push on to go 2 points clear at the top of the table tonight. But Michael Hagan with his try proving what Halifax really can do. This Stonesborough Championship match then, the big one of this weekend. Halifax 5th against Warrington, the leaders, has 40 more minutes to unfold, and 40 minutes that stand between Warrington and a 2-point lead at the top of the table, or who knows, perhaps the end, or at least the beginning of the end of their title ambitions if Halifax can get their game together. It's Gary Chambers who's back on the field, and we have Malcolm really up here on the gantry with us. Malcolm, what have you said to the boys at half-time?
Well, Eddie, we're doing all right at the moment. No need to panic. Our mistake rate's about 72 or something in that region, which we've got to cut the unforced errors out. Territorially, we've had some good field position. Want to continue to do that. Put some pressure on with the kicks. And we've had opportunities on the fringes and not exploited them.
Thanks, Malcolm. 40 minutes to go, as we say, separating these two sides in victory. 6 points all at half-time. That's what Malcolm really has been saying to his boys at half-time. Warrington, of course, with the injuries. And touchline news from Bill Arthur.
Well, it's not looking good from Warrington's point of view with the injuries. Dave Elliott, as we've said earlier, is on his way, is at hospital by now, presumably having taken a bad knock to the head and has got concussion. And now it looks as though Rob Myler, who went off in that first half, has got medial ligament damage. He won't be coming back. Warrington have no more substitutes available for this second half. They're happy with the way it went in the first half, but now they really are up against it in the second half.
Yes, Warrington have their 13 fit men on the field, and if there are any more injuries, they'll be down to players adrift. Rough, tough sport, isn't it? Big blow for Myler if he has got that ligament damage. Here's Davis trying to get round the outside of Bentley, and Bentley determined that his Great Britain Sevens colleague in Sydney just a week or so ago will not get past him.
Well, Davis is the man that Warrington obviously will be looking for, because it's going to be a tight encounter all the way through. Key words from Malcolm really, of course, the Halifax coach, was not to panic. And that also means that not trying to force the ball in impossible situations. They did lose the ball on quite a few occasions early in the tackle count in the first half. They can't afford to do that in the second.
The pass from Davis found Penny. It was a good tackle in the end. And Gary Lord and Bentley. Davis again with a high kick. It hangs. It's difficult. Underneath it, though, he's safe as houses tonight. Steve Hampson, good long ball out wide. It was risky business, but Hagan was there, and he helped it on to Preston. And Forster came in to close Preston down.
Good thinking by the winger there, Mark Forster. He knew that they were going to take the gamble. Moved in extremely quickly. No chance of Preston getting engaged.
It's 6 years since Warrington last won here in the big league. They won here just 3 weeks ago in the Cup, of course. Fieldhouse driving that ball down the middle. 3.5 minutes, second half gone, 6-all. Bishop with the kick downfield. Penny lets it bounce again. Collects it on one leg and then sets off on a good run, but it was stopped by Hagan's tackle. Forster to Ellis, to Davis. Davis round the outside of Bentley this time. Schuster's after him. That's a good tackle by the New Zealander on the Welshman. Ellis.
Really well did Schuster there. Allowed him the option to go out wide, use the touchline as his best friend, then pulled him in.
Thursfield, the acting halfback. Mackey. Scampering run from Mackey. Oh, it was a good challenge too in the end. Almost through, and it was Devorty who was there, and his tackle had to be good, and it was. Chambers. Strong run into the danger zone. 4.5 minutes, second half. Last tackle, Warrington. Mackey with a drop goal, and that stretches the lead to a point. 7-6, Mackey's drop goal. It's his first one-pointer of the season.
Well taken by Mackey, the experience showing through it all the time in the world. They realise that it's going to be a tough encounter in this second stanza, and that 1 point is so vital. Well taken, the Australian quick thinking.
So 7-6, Warrington have the advantage, and Bishop restarts. The ball again playing tricks as it comes down out of this really cold night air here at Halifax. I must say that just holding these microphones is a trial. What on earth it must be like, Steve-O, trying to catch a football, and you've got gloves on.
Tell the world. Yeah, it is a problem for these players, and that's why it's important to try to not force the pass. Quite tingly on the finger's end.
Jackson trying to get away from Bentley, who grits his teeth and pulls the Australian down. Thursfield, Mackey, Ellis, Sanderson through one, still going. Great run from Sanderson. He's found Ellis again, but three close him down. Good tackle in the end from Perrott. It was the last one of this set of six. Here's Thursfield. It's back with Davis, who shaped for another drop goal, thought about it, and then clipped the post as he eventually had a shot, looks to the heavens and says, how did that one miss?
Well, he was put under pressure to start with, sidestep, gave himself all the time in the world, and pushed it to the right. The idea is there. That is good thinking. It's going to be a slogging game. Forwards trying hard. The kicking game most important now, hoping that both sides or either side will make big errors, bad mistakes. They can capitalize upon them.
Bishop shrugging off a high challenge that came in there, making about 6 or 7 more meters into the Warrington half of the field. Hagan, there's the kick that Steve-O was talking about, just catches the field of play. Bentley was after it, and Davis was there too, just in case, but it was good thinking from Hagan.
Well, the kicking game has been superb from Halifax. Either the high bomb or into the position there. He's a good thinker, is Michael Hagan. Plenty of experience, but perhaps midway through this game it could come to a point where Halifax must start trying to produce their moves.
Head and feed Warrington at the scrum. Mackey gets the possession away. Oh, there's an error. That's a knock on. That was a heck of a tackle.
What a tackle from Steve Hampson. Just used the shoulder. Whoa, and that's not bad going, is it?
Derbyshire couldn't hang on to it. The ball slipped out of his grasp. Knock on. Good pressure from Halifax.
Isn't it amazing? If he'd used just the arm, he would have been penalised. But with he using the shoulder, you get away with it.
Paul Round back on the field, and he has replaced Carl Harrison. Bishop is the dummy half. These are big moments here for Halifax as Lord tries to drive it in. Good challenge on him though from Chambers, from Mark Hilton rather. This is Hagan. There's Chambers trying to get the ball away from Hagan in that tackle. Southernwood, Bishop trying to engineer something. Round on the diagonal run and drops it. Was it stolen from him by Jackson? Referee glances at touch judge and says play on.
Well, there was a lot of interference there. Jackson looked to be interfering, got away with it. Referee David Campbell looked to both touch judges. They didn't see anything.
And to be fair, on that occasion our cameras weren't too conclusive either. 8-3, the handling errors. Tietzel can't get away from the tackle of Southernwood. This is Sanderson.
Interesting how Warrington are using the substitute Gary Sanderson out wide. Trying to run out wide of the two halves, Ellis and Mackey.
Davis with all the time in the world to plonk that kick downfield. Hampson lets it bounce once and collects it. I say it's a real slogging game, isn't it, in the forwards. And the back's now getting involved in it too.
Well, in the first half, Halifax did make quite a few breaks from within their own half. Maybe that could be the key, get the ball out wide to their flying wingmen. Bentley and Preston have the speed, and they've shown in the first half that they can make the breaks.
Here's one of the flying wingers, Bentley. He finds Lord. Good tackling Sanderson, wearing that head guard. Other head guard is worn by Southernwood, the dummy half. Good run from him too. Devorty couldn't get away then. Last tackle for Halifax. Bishop hoists the high kick. Davis is underneath it. Davis, a bit of experience as a full-back, cuts inside. Schuster can't get away from Hagan. Good tackling, good chasing. And Davis got one on the top of the head for his pains. Has a little word with Mr. Hallis as he went past him.
Been quite a confrontation, hasn't it? We expected it. Hallis is a pretty tough. Oh, that's an awful mistake there.
Sanderson knows it.
See the ball, not the best pass from Thursfield. Went behind him. But this is the opportunity now where Halifax have to push home the advantage. Now then, will we see a move from the scrum base? Bishop, crafty little customer.
Preston drops it. They drop it on the first tackle. And I can tell you that Malcolm really is pacing this gantry like a caged lion after watching that.
And so he should. Preston did not run onto that right. He came far too early on the move. It's all a matter of timing, and I'm afraid his was completely out.
It's all a matter of confidence too, this game, isn't it? And he's only scored one try in 10 matches. Mark Preston. Confidence is obviously just at the minute on a bit of a low ebb. Thursfield at dummy half. The runner was Tietzel. It's away from Devorty and Southernwood, but Devorty snares him in second chance. Last tackle, Warrington.
Just get the impression that the Warrington forwards starting to progress forward.
That's a better take from Preston, by the way. And here he goes. This fella can hit them from all angles. And he has space ahead of him now. Cuts inside Davis. Sanderson with the cover tackle. Well, we say his confidence is on a low ebb. It didn't look like it then.
That will build upon it. But that's the type of thing that they've got to do, because the minutes are ticking away.
Quick hands here from Halifax. Hallis in possession right on the halfway line and releases the ball.
And that will be a knock-on. He will not claim that the ball was taken from him. He was trying to get the ball away.
I think Forster did actually get a hand in there.
No, I disagree. He tried to get that ball away. Panic situation. You see quite clearly he tries to get it away there. No hand near to it.
Well, if we can't agree, I don't suppose the referee and judge can agree, and I don't suppose our viewers can agree either.
Well, I certainly won't agree with you on that.
It's Ellis. Warrington will not debate the issue. Davis saw there was no one at home. He's clipped it over for the pace of Penny. Penny against Bentley. Remember, in the cup tie, Bentley was the man who dropped the ball on one of the kicks downfield, but Penny was offside anyway.
Good refereeing there by David Campbell. He'd shouted out well before then, when Penny was racing through. The gamble, of course. There you can see Penny only just in front. You can see Campbell shouting across, pointing to Penny, the fullback. Don't go anywhere near him. Keep away the 10. He didn't. That's the penalty.
So Halifax, it is in possession with Gary Lord. 7-6 the Warrington advantage. Just that drop goal from Greg Mackey separating the two. And Halifax with a penalty for interference at the play of the ball. And Bob Jackson does not agree.
I don't know why. Took an eternity there to allow Gary Lord to get up and play the ball.
He is 33, and I think I make him just about the oldest man on the field, Jackson.
Here's the replay of it. They really did make a meal of it. 3 players. There you see, takes all the time in the world, messing around, pushing.
Well, Halifax are in possession, and they're edging towards that Warrington 20-metre zone with Perrott. With a drive in towards it, Jackson stands his ground, so too does Thursfield. Southernwood, Bishop. Bit of an urgency now about Halifax. Round on the diagonal run. Oh, he slipped the pass, and was Hallis interfered with as he went for the ball? Well, the referee says it's a knock-on. Mackey's tackle.
Well, they don't want panic. That was never on. Just isn't on. You can see that the man's in front. Bad timing again. Give them credit to be there in the first position, but they don't need to panic in that position. There's still plenty of time. Malcolm really said on our broadcast just after the half-time break not to panic. I'm afraid that's what they're doing.
55 minutes gone, quarter of an hour second half, 25 to go. Warrington being penned in their own half of the field again this second half for long periods. Can Chambers lead the way out? It's not Chambers, it's Hilton. Versfield. Mackey. Round and Hallis combined to bring him down.
Good thinking there from Thursfield. He saw that the advancing defence was coming up out wide through the dummy. Yeah, good yardage.
Oh, that's a terrible ball from Sanderson. Hallis has swooped on the loose, and Sanderson came back and made the tackle to retrieve the situation slightly. But here's another big chance for Halifax. Hagan, Schuster. Hampson has chimed into the line, invites Bentley for a diagonal run. Oh, that's good pushing by Warrington, and Bentley back almost to the halfway line.
Well, what a game Jackson's having in defence. Super stuff. Bentley must have gone back 15 to 20 yards then. Helped along by Ellis. But what a defensive showing from that man.
Bishop to Devorty. And it was Gary Chambers with the tackle. Bishop on his own from dummy half. Slipping on the surface. Jackson again hanging on to his ankle as he was finished off by Teetsall. And Bishop, the Great Britain under 21 with the Australian accent, having a discussion with Teetsall about the legality of that challenge. Halifax meanwhile getting on with it. It's good play.
Quick play of the ball, that's what's needed now.
It was quick, and it's quick hands now from Bishop to Hagan. Little chip over the top. This time Forster's there. 3 Halifax players taken out. Oh, and Lee Penny was steaming up on his outside looking for the... It's gone to ground, and it's a knock-on. Forster says it was stolen from him, but the referee says knock-on.
I think he lost it too. Hits the ground and tries to get up there. Pulls away, well, perhaps a little hand from Bishop. But I tell you what, Halifax were lucky there. Why on earth did Schuster opt for the kick so early in the tackle again when they had the overlap?
Here's Schuster driving it in hard this time. Now they're 20 metres away from that Warrington line. Again, Halifax dictating the play in terms of pressure, but it's Warrington ahead on the scoreboard. And Halifax now 12 metres short of that Warrington line. Southernwood to Bishop. Devorty is the runner. Devorty makes progress until he meets the number 15 Hilton and the number 8 Chambers. Now Fieldhouse slips the ball away. The ball comes backwards. It went backwards, says the referee. It's play on. Round to Devorty. Devorty looking for supporters.
Great play from Bishop there. The ball came loose. He flipped it up to keep it alive. But also good play from the prop, Craig Teetsall. Got his arm in there so they couldn't get the ball out.
That's Hallis. So close, Hallis almost through. It's desperate defence this from Warrington. The league leaders under intense pressure here. Dab through. Penny's there. Penny this time reads it well. But again, the chase is good from Halifax. They're keeping the pressure on. They're keeping the lid on that pressure cooker.
The chase was good, but I'm afraid the kick wasn't. You've got to punch that ball in. Got to make it do things. Can't be too gentle. Got to hope that the ball will bounce away. Just do a gentle one like that. There's every chance that the defence will snap it up.
Warrington still in their own 20-metre zone, as you can see. It's great tackling this by Halifax. Mackey gets the ball away to Chambers. He will make the hard yards. But it's the last tackle. 59 minutes gone. Mackey just clips the ball up to Preston inside his own half. And Preston will run it back for Halifax. Caught one from Davis for his corner. Teetsall was there to finish him off. It's Warrington, though, who have the possession in this second half. It just shows you. Statistics can tell a different story from what the eye tells you. It has seemed to me that Warrington have been under pressure again in this second half, right from the start.
Well, it's very hard to get through this Warrington defence, and full credit to them. But if anybody's going to break it through, it's going to be the back three of Halifax. Parrott, Round and Devorty. They're striving, they've been working hard all night.
Bishop thought about a kick through, saw a gap, the ball went through to Southernwood, and again desperate defence from Warrington on the last tackle. It was worth the risk, it was worth the gamble, it just didn't come off.
Nice little jink there. They thought it was going to go for the one-pointer, the gap open. Nice play, good support play there, but the defence, wonderful defence from the Wires.
And a Warrington player on the floor, it's Gary Chambers. Desperate defence, and it was the hooker Southernwood who fell across his arm and his shoulder, as you can see there. Gary Chambers, who has missed 10 of the last 11 matches, injured, has been cropped again here.
Here's a replay where the hooker Southernwood, you can see Chambers go through, and the stretch perhaps on the shoulder. The weight of the hooker Southernwood bounding down onto the ground. Doesn't look too happy, doesn't the youngster? It's been a tough encounter. No prisoners in this one.
There's a graze on the forehead for Gary Chambers there. Warrington remain under the most intense pressure, and Halifax will do all that they can to try and keep them back there. Ellis will try and scamper away. Don't forget, Warrington have got 2 players off injured and will not be able to return, so they have to play on with what is out there on the field. And at the moment, Chambers is receiving treatment behind the posts. They're down to 12 men.
Well, they'll grit it out and use the forwards, especially this man here, Jackson, lead the way, and then hope now on this kick that Jonathan Davis can produce one of the big boots.
Here it is. He's under pressure, though, from Southernwood. And on the move, he gets the kick downfield, but Hampson's underneath it. He hasn't missed one so far tonight. They just can't penetrate this Warrington defence, can they? Will they now with Hallis?
Tenacious tackling there from Warrington again. They realise that they're up against it. Injured players out there, a lot of them limping away. No substitutes to call upon, remember.
There's a good run that from Bentley. Maintained the impetus for Halifax. Fieldhouse gets the ball away to Hagan, to Bishop. He finds Hampson, Hampson to Schuster. Schuster showed it to Bentley, decided to go on his own, the big man. It's a great run. Bishop's there in support, and that's a great try, Bishop. Paul Bishop against his former club. It was super support from the little man. And Bishop, over under the posts, gives Halifax the lead again. Excellent try, Halifax.
Well, we saw earlier that Schuster had made the wrong option. He didn't this time. Hagan got free, spun the ball out wide. Bishop sets it up. Hampson chimes in from full-back. Lovely dummy step, another step. And off he goes. But this is a crucial one. The call was there, the support was there, and there is the try. And he is the one happy little Vegemite, I'll tell you. Super stuff. Hampson linking through, Schuster, the dummy there. He beat 3, beats another one with the step. But this is the call. I'm inside. Super positioning. The finish, excellent.
Bishop with the try, clapping his teammates, clapping the supporters, and it's John Schuster with the conversion attempt from bang in front. The man who created the try now creates that 4 into 6. And at last, for all their possession again, Halifax strike.
You can see that Schuster is making the mark across here, but Bishop will come back on the inside, and that's the reason why the try was scored. It's all about combination, confidence, calling for the ball at the right moment. And what a fight back. It's taken them a while.
I think he enjoyed that moment, don't you? Paul Bishop. He had 113 games for Warrington at the beginning of his career. And that was a try that he will savour for a long, long time to come, I fancy. It's given Halifax the lead, 12-7. Warrington's big league ambitions on the line here now for the last 15 minutes of this match. Carl Harrison, the Halifax skipper, is off, taking a breather. He's with Bill.
Carl, you're feeling a little happier now after that score?
That was a superb try by Paul Bishop. That's a tremendous break by John Schuster. That's what we needed.
But it's still very, very close, isn't it? It's been a cracking game.
That's right. There's probably 20 minutes left, and there's not all little the fat lady sings, especially against Warrington. They're a very professional team.
And there's been some tremendous defence as well, hasn't there?
From both teams have put a tremendous amount of work into their defence, and it's more or less utilised one another out, yes.
And yet, plenty of mistakes as well.
Obviously, that's with the intensity of the defence. He's putting pressure on the attacking team, and the balls are going to go to the floor.
And you're not going to be taking any more part in the game?
No, that's right. I got a bang on the knee, the first tackle of the game, actually, and he's got a bit swollen. I just couldn't run anymore.
And by the sound of things, he's got a bit of a nose injury as well as Carl Harrison. We saw him go off, didn't we? And there was blood pouring from his nose. He's obviously taken a really heavy bang. But good for him to talk to us, despite the pain and the discomfort. 12-7 Halifax. The captain will be happy despite the discomfort on that bench. Davis drops the ball over the top. Hampson has positioned himself superbly all night. Good game on his comeback from the fullback. Bentley. Pace to get away from Ellis, and the step too, and from Jackson and from Derbyshire. Bentley still has it. It's a good run. It's a great run from Bentley, this. It's gone from his own try line over the halfway, draws applause from the Thrum Hall crowd, and no wonder.
And rightly so. It's all about second effort, and Bentley did just that. A lot of wingers would have just gone to die with the ball, bring the ball back inside when you've got a 12.7 lead. He's not happy with that. He wants to go further, and he did.
Form winger in the big league, John Bentley. 16 tries so far this season. Devorty on the charge, and Tietzel had to put the tackle in and did. He wants to be careful. He almost got penalised for holding him down there. Bishop dabs it forward into space. Schuster's after it. Schuster try! The kick has opened the Warrington defence again, and Schuster, the creator, just a few minutes ago, is now Schuster the try scorer.
You make one for me and I'll make one for you. A beautiful kick. He's been on song for most of the night with a kicking game, was Paul Bishop, and this was wonderfully executed. All the time in the world at the end. Waited just in time there. You can see the Warrington defence was caught tight. There was plenty of room outside. Super fly.
Schuster, the try scorer, is about to attempt to convert his own four-pointer and make it 6. You just get the breath back. It's a very difficult angle. Bishop created it for Schuster just a few minutes after Schuster created it for Bishop. And 2 from 3 for the big centre. This is his most difficult kick of the night. And Halifax have hit Warrington with 2 tries in 3 minutes here. And there's no doubt about it now, Warrington's big league title ambitions are beginning to slip away in this week of shocks that we've had at the top of the table. Wakefield's win against Wigan gave the rest hope. Is this the night when Warrington begin to falter? Schuster with the conversion attempt. Ooh, just missed, just glanced away from the posts. 16-7, Warrington up against it.
This is the mark of a crafty player. 2 Warrington players there. Bishop knows that. Kicks the ball through, and Schuster out wide does the rest. Look at that. So much space. Schuster, at time, it popped up to him beautifully. Didn't have to dive, but time to pull it in, place the ball down, make short of the four. And the combination of Bishop and Schuster in the last 5 minutes has ripped Warrington apart. Going to take a big effort now from Warrington. Halifax really have started to take control. They hit that purple patch.
Now Warrington trailing 16-7, having to play out the match without any more substitutions, and men like Jackson just running through your picture there, and Chambers just getting up after that tackle, coming back into this side after long injury layoffs. They're bound to be feeling the pace, I fancy. But Halifax looking hungry now for more, in possession with Round. So Warrington starting to miss the tackles, starting not to put the man down. Last tackle, Southernwood to Bishop. There's the kick again, diagonal. Davis coming back to collect it. Well, Davis with 2 pieces of magic won the cup tie for them here, but Bishop's in no mood to allow any more bits of magic here tonight.
Got to take your hat off, haven't you, for the little Paul Bishop. So often a man that has been a fiery customer, but not anymore. Gets on with the game of playing rugby league football, and he's done that tonight. Especially his kicking game. It has been superb. Created the first try, of course, with a very high bomb. Created the next one. Scored one. Super play.
So, just over 8 minutes left for play for Warrington. Wakefield's defeat of Wigan in midweek. Are Halifax going to further open the door in this championship race of championship races this season?
Well, not the best kick. Off the side of the foot. Things not going right for Warrington now. Greg Mackey probably knows that. But they're not going to give in. They will try to the bitter end. Even though it's 16-7, plenty of things can happen in the game of rugby league.
Absolutely. But they now do have exactly 8 minutes to rescue the 2 points here. But the way Halifax are turning the screw, perhaps there is no way back for them. But they'll dig deep. But here comes Bentley for Halifax, and now Fieldhouse.
Really has been a busybody, hasn't he, Paul Bishop, this second half especially. He really has taken control of this.
There's another kick that causes havoc. Penny was first to it this time. And Hallis moving in, the man who pulled him down. Not Warrington's happiest hunting grounds, this, in terms of big league points. The last win, 1988. Bill Blake, a try scorer that night, or that day, for Warrington.
Oh, it's wonderful defence from Halifax. Really got their tails up now.
Worried man, Brian Johnson, Warrington coach, centre of your picture. Suddenly Warrington in disarray. Certainly the form team at the turn of the year into 94, but the last couple of weeks in February has not been the best for Warrington. Lee Penny, long ball. Good run from Derbyshire, this is, up to the halfway line. Warrington not throwing the towel in yet, still going Derbyshire. They can't pull him down. Gives it to Davis. Now what will Davis do? He will change direction, tries to get the ball away. It's 6 to go for Warrington. Ellis shrugs away from one challenge, gets away from another. Still running strongly, Ellis. Ellis on his way to the corner. Hampson thundered in with his shoulder, but Warrington keep it moving with Bateman. Jackson, a hero in defence. Can he be a hero in attack? Sanderson, and Sanderson eventually is hauled down. 10 metres from the line. What a run from Derbyshire that set up this attack. Here's Mackey. Turns the ball back inside to Chambers. Chambers trying to bustle his way through. This time Halifax's defence, the one under pressure. Mackey back inside. Tietzel, ball dropped. Was the man offside?
Knock-on will be given. Bad end to some beautiful football. Well, I can't understand why that is deemed that it's come off an Halifax player's hand. Very confusing. Mackie on the back on the inside. There you can see the ball. Yeah, perhaps it came off John Fieldhouse on that viewing. And look at that.
One against the head. Great push at the scrum by Halifax. Warrington got the head and feed at the scrum, but it's Halifax who come up with it, and how important that might be.
Well, perhaps there is justice in this game sometimes. But the chance has gone begging. Derbyshire run set it up. It would have left tingling moments for Halifax if Warrington would have gone over for a try then. What a last 5 minutes that would have been. Plenty of things that happen, as we mentioned earlier.
Bishop's kick downfield is straight to Jonathan Davis, who will set off on a run, gets through Schuster, gets round Southernwood, who just got hold of him by the collar and hauled him down. And Warrington anxious to get on with it. Bentley not letting Davis get to his feet, although Davis took a clout. Thursfield to Tietzel.
Well, it's panic time now for Warrington. They've just got to try everything. Keep the ball alive. Switches of play. Men running at the angle.
Mackie, one of those men running at the angle. The tackle from Perrott with a bit of help from Hagan.
There, and surprisingly, Warrington are taking their time. Get on with it, that's what I say.
I noticed that Steve Lay has come on.
Now the referee, David Campbell, has called time off, but it took an eternity as far as Warrington are concerned.
Yes, Lay went on, and Perrott stayed on.
Was that a crafty piece of play from the coach, Malcolm Reilly? Because that certainly added up the seconds there. It was an eternity for David Campbell there to stop the clock.
Hilton with that run in. These are desperate moments for Halifax, but the time running out for Warrington. They need to score early in this set of 6 if they're going to have any chance at all. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. That's all that remains. Here's Chambers. Chambers heading for the posts. But good tackling. It's Halifax now who are under pressure.
Tremendous scrambling defence from Halifax.
Ball fed out wide and straight into the arms and the end of Steve Lay, who's just come on. Bateman couldn't hang on to it.
It was a strong ball, wasn't it? Bateman couldn't get away, and Steve Lay saves the day.
Lay is the man at dummy half. Former Hunslet man who was signed on a permanent basis here after a loan spell. Fieldhouse has worked hard. The forwards really on both sides, Steve-O, deserve medals tonight. They really have put the hard yakka in, haven't they?
And a few high ones there as well. Full credit to both sides. Warrington didn't throw the towel in. They've struggled to get back into this game. Didn't come off for them. But also showed a lot of credit, Halifax, for that scrambling defence. Showed a lot of spirit. They were digging deep then.
Look at the way that ball has rolled for Warrington. Right back towards their own post. Forster, and a good chase in the end from Hagan and Devorty. Warrington are going to have to strike from deep. 16-7 Halifax, and we now enter the last minute of normal time. So both, it looks now like Wigan and Warrington have faltered this week in the race for the championship. And Bradford, and Wigan, of course, on Sunday, when you see them on the big league on Sky, well, they really will have something to go for, won't they? both those clubs now know that Warrington have faltered as well. Hampson picks up the bouncing ball, sets off on a little run, tries to get away from Sanderson, releases the pass. Bentley, with still some pace, still some petrol in the tank, shrugs away from one, gets through Davis, gets away from Jackson. Oh, it's going to be a magnificent John Bentley try. Absolutely brilliant. He is the form winger in the big league. He had the strength, he had the pace, and he had the power. Try number 17 of the season. Superb.
You will not see better than this for many a day. What a fine game John Bentley has had. One man, see you later. In and out. Teetsel, get out of my way. This is the third one. Here comes a fourth. Throws the dummy, that's the fifth. And in for a superb try. And he deserves all the accolades that we can shower upon him. Magnificent.
Two men who know they're going home there with winning money. That was a tremendous effort from Bentley. Well, he has the tag of the man who's running in the tries ad infinitum at the moment in the big league. He scored 6 tries in the World Sevens, 2 against Japan, 1 against South, and 3 in the final against Balmain, but 17 in the big league for Bentley. They're the ones that are so important. And is he on his way to his second Test cap? Schuster then, with the conversion attempt, imperiously clips the ball between the posts. It's a great Halifax win. It's another night where the championship race has been thrown open.
Let's just enjoy this again. This is what we can see high above from the gantry. There's the first, the second, in and out again, in and out again. And a little dummy there. How about that for try of the month?
It's a contender, there's no doubt, and it's not only a contender for try of the month, it's the one that has finally ended this match at Thrum Hall, and that Bentley try will be the abiding memory. But my word, what an effort Halifax put in. They bossed the show from almost first to last. Revenge for them for the Challenge Cup defeat just 3 weeks ago. And is it the night when Warrington's big league championship ambitions fell off the rails?
Seize the day.